Let me ask you a question. You guys remember the early 2000 slasher era? I Know What You Did Last Summer, Scream, Sorority Row, and countless others? Yeah, that's where this one belongs. What's going on, people? Alex Thorn here, and I'm just a rock and roller who in his downtime likes to watch movies while wearing a bandana. And even though I'm not feeling my best right now, I still had to make my way down to the theater to check out Valentine's Day slasher flick, Heart Eyes. But before we talk about Heart Eyes, I've got two things I want to mention to you before we get to that. One being, if you find yourself liking this review and check out the channel, please like, comment, and subscribe if you can. Number two, this Tuesday, February 11th, I will be appearing on the Our Life in Horror YouTube channel to discuss the original 1981 My Bloody Valentine. I'll leave the link down below. Go ahead, click on it, get notified, and join us live at 7 p.m. Central. Figure out what that is in your time. And now let's get to Heart Eyes. A masked maniac with glowing red eyes returns every Valentine's Day to terrorize unsuspecting couples. Now look, you guys, if you ever watch my channel, you know I don't do a lot of research before I watch these movies. Oftentimes I just go into it blindly, and then I do research on little things that catch my eye. And one thing that caught my eye right away with this movie was, like, I felt like I was watching Thanksgiving Part 2. I felt like I was watching a sequel to something that already exists. This movie treats the Heart Eyes killer as though he is somebody that we all know, somebody that we're rooting for to show up in the course of this movie, and somebody that is already as iconic as the ghost face killer from Scream, as Jason, as Freddy, as Art the Clown. Like, there's this instantaneous feel of, like, you know who this is, you want to see him, and you're going to see him kill in gory ways. I don't have that attachment to that character, neither does anybody else, so I was kind of taken aback by how they treated him right away as, like, this is a big time deal and you know who it is. And right off the bat, beyond what I just mentioned, that is very clear is that this movie is almost a parody of slasher films, but also at moments, many moments, becomes a serious romantic comedy film. I've seen a lot of romantic comedy films. I've been in relationships. I've been forced to watch them. I've chosen to watch them depending on who's the lead. Julia Roberts, J-Lo, just to name a few. Those are some of my favorites, but I've had to watch Sandra Bullock, Reese Witherspoon, and countless others in these. And you know where it goes. You know all the sappy music. You know the sappy lines, and you know the storylines that are completely unrealistic. Well, this film, it dwells for so long into these romantic comedy, parts. It stays there so long you forget you're watching a horror movie. For you, this may be great. I don't know. But for me, I was just, I kid you not, sitting in that chair, sinking more, lower and lower, as I was just like, oh, Jesus Christ, what is happening? It was tongue-in-cheek because there were a lot of references to existing and classic romantic comedy films. But there was also tongue-in-cheek because if you remember from the 80s how there was always a punchline after something. Take Arnold Schwarzenegger telling somebody after a kill, or Sylvester Stallone just effortlessly giving a one-liner off. Well, this constantly happens in this movie as well. I just am lost consistently on what it wants to be. Storyline wise, we basically follow Allie, who does not believe in love anymore, yet she works on advertisement campaigns. Her hot ass friend, Monica, played by Gigi Zimbato, accompanies her and gives you serious vibes of romantic comedy with somewhat okay dialogue, but she's A1. And the other major character we see in this is Jay, played by Mason Gooding. Now look, we know Mason Gooding from the horror genre because he's been in Scream movies. What I didn't know was I disliked him when I saw him in Scream. I dislike him when I see him in this. So before I turn on this camera, I do a little bit of research to see who exactly is Mason Gooding and what his name was, because I didn't even know that was his name. And I see that he is the son of Cuba Gooding Jr., another actor that I don't enjoy watching. So it makes sense that I got the ick feel from both father and son. We get a lot of visually appealing scenes in this movie. There's a church scene that looks like it would do great in a Scream movie or a Nightmare on Elm Street film. There's a drive-in theater scene that looks like it would be amazing for, Jason to do, similar to the rave party that was in Jason versus Freddy. There's even a scene at a carnival, a small carnival, randomly, that looks like it would have been great for Chucky. In fact, all of these things did play out with some of these bigger characters, but it plays out here with Heart Eyes. Now look, I gotta kind of cut the bullshit with you guys here, which is, while yes, if you like romantic comedy and you're a chick, you'll love this movie. If you love blood and gore, you'll love this movie. But here's my issue with this. And this also happened with Thanksgiving, which is these people who are behind the mask, this person or these people or whatever, and this goes for Scream as well. I don't understand how they make these people so powerful when they're just humans like you and I. This isn't Jason, this isn't Michael Myers, this isn't Freddy Krueger, this isn't Leatherface. These are regular people with masks by the end of this movie. And there are hulking sound effects to the way the Heart Eyes killer walks. There are, a lot of situations to where, if obviously this is just a standard human being, this person should be hurt. This person should not get up easily. And what happens when you got a lot of movies like Thanksgiving or like Scream, the most recent ones, and this film, is that what is the purpose of us clamoring and wanting to be afraid of somebody like Jeepers Creepers, Leatherface, Freddy, Jason, or Michael Myers, when all it takes for you to have the same effect on people as what I just mentioned is you just have to put on a mask. That irritates me. And with that being said, I want to get to the bandana rating for 2025's Heart Eyes. And I'm going to give Heart Eyes 3 bandanas out of 5. Certainly, was this film fun? Yes. Would this be a great movie to take a date out to? Yes, because she's going to be caught in these long conversations that are very romantic comedy-esque, and then get caught by something gruesome that you'll love, and she'll probably put her head in your chest or something like that, which is great. But for me, I just could not get with how... There's a term I have with my buddies where I say I don't like chummy people. I don't like people trying to get funny with me if they don't know me. And that's the way this movie felt to me, is this movie tried to be tongue-in-cheek so much, but then took you out of that to be gruesome, but then went back to being tongue-in-cheek, and then went back to this. It just is not a second viewing for me. I did not enjoy watching this movie that much, but I can see how people would. So guys, let me know, are you gonna go watch Heart Eyes this weekend? Are you gonna go take a date? Are you going on your own? Are you gonna go watch it closer to Valentine's Day? It will be on then. Were you a fan of early 2000 horror films? Because this mirrors those to the T, just with a little bit more blood and violence than they did have in 2001, 99, 2002, and all that. If you want to talk about early slasher films from the 2000s or more about Heart Eyes, you got to join this channel's memberships. That's right, Thorn Theater has real deal membership laminated cards for all of you Thornaholics out there and horror lovers. Not only that, but you get to request your own reviews. Let's say there's something out there you're really dying for me to review, but the masses may not want it, or it's not something that's gonna move the numbers. Guess what? You pay, you control the narrative. You get early access to videos,
live only chats, as well as exclusive watch alongs just for members right here on this channel.
And if you don't feel like committing to that, you can always give me a super chat, super thanks, or buy me a coffee.
Buy me a coffee right now is a way that you can support somebody like me for making videos just for you guys, doing what we love to do. But guess what? If you buy me a coffee, at least you're fueling the journey. And right now, Buy Me a Coffee has an update to where when you leave your note of why you have gifted me coffee, I can respond back to you in video form.
And with all that being said, guys, I hope you have a happy Valentine's Day. And if you're not going to celebrate that, at least watch some good horror movies and at least get some if you can. But beyond that, also check out my appearance on the Our Life in Horror YouTube channel coming up this Tuesday, February 11th. Guys, I'm Alex Thorn, and I look forward to seeing you then. I got to go rock out, watch some movies, and review them for you.